The special meeting is called back to order. Will the secretary please note that all board members are present? Correct? I'm just going through the names. They are. The first, we have Mr. Marquez online, correct? We do not, with the exception of Mr. Marquez. The first item on the agenda is 3B, motion to adjourn executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn the executive session? Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made by Member Austin, seconded by Member Parra. On that motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please indicate by saying nay. Motion carries. The did we do that? When is that? The next item is 3D, motion to adjourn the special meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn the special meeting? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Member Austin, seconded by Member Parra. On that motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please indicate by saying nay. We are adjourned. The regular meeting is called to order. Will the secretary please note that all board members are present with the exception of Member Marquez. Please note that today's meeting is being live streamed. Also, please note that we have Spanish interpreting services available in the back of the room. Member Parra.
I'm online, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Marquez has joined us. Member Parra, will you please read the statement, please? Do you have it? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Member Hernandez. I thought Member Parra had it. Member Hernandez, will you
Okay.
please read it?
Yes. Buenas tardes. Si necesita intérprete en español, favor de mirar a Joel, que se encuentra a un lado del cuarto. Gracias.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is 1C, Pledge of Allegiance and Moment of Silence. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Central High School Color Guard and remain standing as Board Member Parra leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence to salute all of our troops and to honor and remember the service members and civilians who were killed at Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Thank you. You may be seated. The next item on the agenda is 1D, Land Acknowledgement Statement. Please remain seated as Board Member Oliver reads the PXU Land Acknowledgement Statement.
The Phoenix Union High School District is responsible for and committed to creating educational environments that prioritize the achievements of Native American students. We are committed to making their cultural identity visible by acknowledging that our school district resides upon the ancestral lands of the original caretakers, the Hohokam, ancestors of the Akamerl Atum, Ono Atum, Tohono Akam, and Akchen. These sovereign nations are presently known as the Gila River Indian Community, Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, Tohono Atum Nation, and Akshen Indian Nation. This formal acknowledgement is dedicated to the 22 sovereign nations of Arizona. Phoenix Union understands the importance of providing reparations through truth-telling. We recognize the historical injustices not traditionally taught in the classroom and are committed to practices prioritizing Native American knowledge, history, representation, and healing. We commit with an open mind to always respect the land, its histories, and its ancestors.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda, that is not right. I'm going to give you the floor.
Yeah, before we get started tonight, thank you, President Ross, members of the board. I want to take a moment to thank so much the combined choirs of Betty Fairfax and Maryville under the direction of Mr. Christopher Hughes and Miss Amanda Taylor, respectively. They performed, that's right. They performed an amazing collection of holiday music for your enjoyment this evening. If you liked what you heard, please reach out to them or to Daniel Eaton to get more information about their upcoming performances at their sites across Phoenix Union. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys were wonderful.
Thank you. Maryville High School is honored to exhibit student projects from the Visual Arts Department. The students' work represents every grade level in each artistic discipline. Explorations in art, drawing and painting, ceramics, and digital photography. Students discover ways to visually communicate art elements, principles, individual expressions, and cultural traditions through their hard work. Maryville's highly qualified teachers are proud to present their students' growth, development, and hard work in each respective content area. The teachers and students promote the art not only on campus, but also in the community at large. Next semester, students will exhibit at the Art One Gallery in Scottsdale, as well as the May 1st Friday Art Walk in downtown Phoenix. Maryville Visual Arts is pleased to share their young artists' works with you. Please enjoy. The next item on the agenda is 2A, recognitions and accomplishments. Tonight we will celebrate the remarkable accomplishments. I don't know what's going on with me tonight in my mouth. Tonight we will celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of our students, school, and staff. Clerk Napa.
During the week of November 13th, Maryville High School hosted the Phoenix Union Academic Decathlon Competition. The competition is an opportunity for students to compete and represent their school communities at an elite academic level, or at an elite academic event. At the conclusion of the competition, 2 students from PXU received the highest honor for overall points scored. The overall winner of the competition was Cesar Chavez High School, with Maryville High School earning 2nd place and basis next. Let's give those PXU schools a round of applause. Tonight, we want to welcome and honor Alexander Uwell from Cesar Chavez High School, who scored 7,257 and 0.6 points and earned the top slot at the event for individual points scored. Daniel Hernandez Sumano from Maryville High School scored 6,657.5 points and placed 2nd. Unfortunately, Daniel is unable to attend the meeting this evening. Please join us in celebrating Alexander for all his hard work and this wonderful accomplishment.
Congratulations. Member Oliver, you have the floor.
On behalf of the board, I have the honor of giving recognition to our bioscience high school, which is one of my schools. I did nothing for this, though. In November, bioscience was notified of their induction into the National Consortium of Secondary STEM Schools, also known as NCSSS.
Bioscience. This is awesome. This is really, really good. We're so excited to hear all of the great things she's about to read to us.
Okay, I think we're back. This consortium represents many of the top-ranked programs in the U.S. and around the globe, committed to transforming science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education through school-wide initiatives that include authentic research or project-based learning. NCSSS, that's what I'm going to call it, defines STEM schools as those that prepare students to be leaders in global innovation by engaging them in rigorous, relevant, and integrated learning experiences. It's going to happen again. In addition to this well-deserved recognition, the consortium also honored Principal Nita Boyce by asking her to join its board. Join us as we recognize Bioscience High School and Principal Nita Boyce for this incredible accomplishment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The next item is 3A, reports from student government. Tonight, we have student government representatives from Maryville, Bioscience, and Trevor Brown. Our student government representatives this evening will highlight their schools in this order. Fernando Montserrat, and please, when you come up here, say your name right for me, because I know I just chopped it up, and I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Taylor, Maddox, and Daniel. So Fernando and Montserrat, please teach me how to say the name properly. And I apologize for chopping up your name. I always try not to do that, and please, please forgive me. So start by correcting me on the proper way to say your name, please. Thank you. Thank you. You know, technology, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Testing.
All right.
Good evening, President Ross, Governing Board, and Superintendent Andrade. My name is Montserrat Raúl Hernandez, Student Body Representative, Maryville High School.
I am Fernando Garcia Alvarez. I am Maryville Student Body President for the 2023-2024 school year. The first thing we would like to show you guys on our presentation on the next slide is our fall sports. Although girls volleyball is not on there, they had an amazing season with 7 wins throughout the whole season. Maryville's cross country had 2 qualifying boys make it to the AIA Division I cross country state championship tournament. And our football team had a decent outcome with 3 wins for the season.
Our next thing is our amazing JROTC. Not only do they have the best routines, but they were asked to march with the banner of the famous Airborne Division Association during the November 11th Phoenix Veterans Day Parade.
On our next slide, you will see some pictures from Stugo. Our Stugo started off the school year with a great start with a newly tradition of our Welcome Back Week. It consisted of a scavenger hunt that had all of the students' names on yellow pieces of paper. They had to go around campus and find their name. They would then bring the name to us during one of our lunchtime activities to get a prize. And then our next thing is Stugo hosted the first school-wide fundraiser to help Maui's fire victims and students, families, and faculty members that were in need. And our Maryville Theater program held their annual haunted house. It went out with a great hit, a great outcome, and it was a little terrifying.
Our amazing academic team placed first place for this year's Super Quiz and second place for the overall Phoenix Union scrimmage. Our Mecha hosted their annual Dia de los Muertos event, where they had an amazing performance from our very own mariachi. That would be the next slide, yes. All right. Next is our Gifted and Talented program. They had an eye-opening field trip to a handful of our in-state universities. All the seniors had an amazing experience with a better understanding of how university life is.
And then on our last 2 slides are our first fall assembly, which tied into our homecoming week. Our assembly had multiple, what's the word I'm looking for, performances from within our own community, and the amazing Sun City Palms that came out. And then the following day, we had our homecoming week, which is on our homecoming dance, which is on our next slide. We had a little over 350 students that attended our dance, and it was overall a great way to end our 60th anniversary celebration of Maryville being opened. We would now like to that concludes Maryville High School summary, and we would now like to pass it on to Bioscience High School.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monse and Fernando. Our names are Taylor,
and Maddox McShane.
and we are the Student Body President and Vice President of Bioscience High School.
At Bioscience, our student-led community engagement projects, or Better World projects, are actively engaging with the world around them.
Last Friday, one of our senior-led groups held the first PXU small school sports competition, where Bioscience came out the victor.
Some of the groups have held successful pet food supplies drives, and others are promoting STEM accessibility in middle schools.
Next slide, please. We also enacted the first Bioscience morning announcements, where the students are able to hear a lot about what's going on around the school and find out how they can engage in the community.
We create a script and host the announcements every Monday morning, taking requests from students and clubs to have their ideas and events shared at a school-wide level. Next slide, please.
Recently, we held our annual school-wide tournament, Olympic Games, where each grade level competed in spirit events and sports competitions.
Every grade level participated in our largest spirit event, decorating their respective grade level hallways, creating banners, and representing their class colors.
Our Bioscience juniors competed in a Makers of Change Challenge, which is a statewide engineering competition, and they placed Best in Show and Best Level 3 Design.
And like already stated, Bioscience was recently named a partner of the National Consortium of Secondary STEM Schools, and our principal, Ms. Boyce, was invited to sit as a member of their national board.
And our clubs are also doing a lot around campus. Our Green Shovel, which is our sustainability club, planted a native plant garden in front of our school, and our Key Club hosted a very successful fall festival.
Meanwhile, our NHS has hosted food and blood drives, both yielding record high participation. Meanwhile, our chess clubs have been winning across multiple different chess tournaments.
I hope you learned a lot about bioscience and what we're doing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
We now like to welcome Trevor Brown.
Thank you, Taylor and Maddox. My name is Daniel Ibarra. I'm the student body president of Trevor Brown High School. We started this school year with our sophomore cohort in our academy programs. This is a big step for Trevor Brown. We have had a freshman academy for 4 years now, and they are just as busy as ever. The freshman house coordinator and our admin team leading the way with this year is going to be super. The freshmen have already attended field trips to see how construction sites work. We held another RAD Day, which stands for Respect, Acceptance, Diversity Day. This day is led by amazing teachers and our peer leadership students. One of our academies that is off to a terrific start is our Academy of Emerging Technologies. They have built robots, discovered inventive ways of using 3D printers. This academy also includes artificial intelligence, software development, web development, and cybersecurity. Our Academy of Health and Human Sciences have invited Midwestern University Dental Institute to come in and discuss information about careers in the dental field. Our lean crew just participated in an amazing training in Flagstaff. They can't wait to put these skills and activities to use next semester. And for our fall sports, they've been pretty successful. Our varsity volleyball team took second place in Copper Canyon tournament. Our girls cross country team made it to state, and we had one of our members from the boys cross country team make it to state as well. Our football team had a good season. Ray Hill was named Defensive Player of the Metro Region. We also have several others make it first team. We are always willing to step out and tell everyone what TGB is all about and all that we offer. We showed up brewing strong to the PXU Expo, and as always, Mecha held their annual Dia de los Muertos event. From singing to dancing, and others students got to display their memory boxes and celebrated loved ones that were gone too soon. Stugo's also having a great year, from Spirit Weeks to assemblies, decorating and promoting spirit on campus-wide. Our big fall event is always homecoming. This year we had over 400 at our dance, a week full of fun-filled events that allow students to create amazing memories. At this time, we want to thank the governing board for giving us the time to directly report about the successes, activities, and opportunities that are afforded to the students of our schools. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, everyone who got up to inform the governing board. We really appreciate it when you let us know what's going on in your campuses, so thank you all. The next item is 3B, reports from employee organizations and the Phoenix Union Foundation for Education. Mr. Flemings from CTA, please come to the podium.
There we go. All right. Good evening, President Ross, Superintendent Andrade, governing board members, community, staff in attendance here and virtually. Again, I'm Esteban Flemings. I'm the PXU CTA president, and I'm thrilled and passionate this month to be here to talk to you on behalf of my 1,000 members. CTA is happy to be here tonight to acknowledge all of the work of all employee groups in wrestling with the salary and benefits package. This package was difficult to create. And I know that there are members of my organization that wish different choices had been made, but the supermajority of my membership did vote to approve the package and for it to move forward. We know that IBN is a year-to-year experience, and in the coming years, if the state decides to fund education the way it's supposed to be funded, we will be looking to restore our benefits back to the previous state. With that said, I hope the board approves the plans as presented so everyone can move forward and we can look forward to the coming year. We've continued to work with the district regarding the bell schedule, and we look forward to the changes that will occur in January of 2024 at the majority of our sites. We hope that going back to a more consistent schedule helps staff and students in the learning process. Thank you to Ms. Tejas and Ms. Tarkington, along with the CTA bell schedule team for all their hard work in finding a reasonable solution. I've had the pleasure with working with talent as we prepare for the 24-25 school year already. We currently are in the process of our teacher requested transfer process, or TRT, and that'll be wrapping up this week. And this is a process that allows employees that would like to stay in PXU, but maybe try a different site out, the opportunity to do so before we reach the job fair. I'm also super excited for the opportunity to be at the job fair this February with the potential to talk to new hires about how great it is to work here in PXU, but also how being part of this district and joining the union in CTA is unlike many other districts in the state, and that the unions stand for employees' rights, but also work collaboratively with leadership and management here. CTA Executive Board appreciates the opportunity to be part of the discussion with the Superintendent Search Group. We hope and expect to be part of the discussion and the process moving forward, as we expect the next leader of PXU to collaborate and value the relationship with unions, as Ms. Andrade has demonstrated, as well as her two predecessors. While the majority of items I've brought up have been positive, safety still continues to be a concern on our campuses. I understand that we are currently working on a pilot for safety systems, but I believe the time is of the essence to determine what we are going to do to make our campuses safer. If it's not this item, if it's something else, then we want to ensure that every student and every staff member walking through our gates walks back out and is comfortable. We want to ensure that individuals that share space with each other know that the areas are weapon-free and that everyone can work to their potential as not only staff, but as students. I hope that as we talk about data and we complete the pilot, we do so with speed so that decisions can be made and we can ensure a positive environment moving forward. With that said, thank you for listening to all the stakeholders in the decision-making process now and in the future. I know there may be some members that step up here to speak at public comment. Please listen to their stories and understand their experiences that they've had on campus. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the new year. So thank you.
Thank you.
With that,
Ms. Jimenez. Nope, it's you.
Just want to make sure everybody has their moment. Test.
Thank you for being inclusive.
Okay, here we go. Good evening, everyone. Phoenix Union Governing Board, President Ross, Superintendent Andrade, members of the public, and PXU community. Thank you for having us here once again tonight. I'm excited to share this evening as we've got a few updates, and Mr. Fleming's touched on some of them. So. The first one I wanted to touch on was the superintendent search. So just this week, CEA had the opportunity to offer input from our leaders and members of what they expect and what they want to see for the coming future of our PXU superintendent. Our CEA focus session was held at Maryville on December 5th. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to thank Mr. Juve Lopez and his office, Ms. Jennifer Day, for helping us set that up. And I also wanted to thank my CEA leaders publicly and members who were able to participate and engage in that focus session. It was refreshing to hear their thoughts and considerations. So thank you to all those that are immersing themselves in this process. And then lastly, I'd like to encourage all of our staff and stakeholders to participate in the next community forum. So here's a plug for it. Come Monday, December 11th at the Academies at South Mountain. And then thank you again for just keeping CEA at the table. We appreciate the opportunities to engage and to continue to create a better district for our families, students, staff, and community. Thank you. The next thing I wanted to talk about is a little heavier, but got to talk about it, but is our hiring practices, policies, and procedures. So I know that there has been an ask by a governing board and even perhaps by others for there to be an audit of sorts when it comes to the hiring of our staff. And essentially, we'll review what we practice versus what we preach. And so things like diversity, transparency, equity, accountability, and so forth. So I just wanted to take a moment again to thank the governing board and for those involved in facilitating and executing that process. CEA many times has had to work through some of those challenges and concerns that have been raised. So when it comes to true equity, transparency, and credibility, we thank you for making that ask. And then lastly, to kind of piggyback on Mr. Fleming's about our IBN salary and benefit updates. So we are more or less slowing down a little bit, but our subcommittees continue to meet and to work on their charges. But the real news, like you all heard, is I wanted to share and celebrate is the ratification of the new salary and benefits package that each association was successful in passing. With an over 75% approval rating across all employee groups, we did anticipate some challenges when rolling this out. However, I believe this package is still very strong, and moving forward, all staff will see an increase in their salary, even for those frozen or essentially capped within the salary schedule. So thank you to all the associations and to the members who exercise their right to vote and pass the salary and benefits package. And thank you again to all the leaders at the SMB and IBN table. CEA appreciates your collaboration. And as always, even when we throw a brick in the room, you all are patient with us, and we appreciate your continued willingness to work together. So I know those conversations are hard, but we thank you for sticking with us. And with that, I believe my report is complete. So thank you again for keeping us at the table and front of mind, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday break. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Doherty, ADA President.
Good evening, President Ross, members of the board, Superintendent Andrade, executive team, and Phoenix Union community. I'm going to keep my report brief tonight. I'm surviving my first migraine of the year. I hope my only one. You're all spinning counterclockwise and clockwise, depending on which eye I see you out of. I would like to start off with recognition of the difficult process that we all went through in bringing the salary and benefits package to you for decision. We realize that the decisions we make are substantial and affect lives. And we are proud of the conclusion that we got to and the choice that we have. And we hope that in the future that we are able to make other decisions that might bring some things back that were very difficult to consider. But appreciate the cooperation and process that we went through to get to the conclusion that we have. All groups worked hard around that. Second, superintendent search. The focus groups for the administration association, we had one of those, and we had a separate focus group for principals. They were very productive. Some themes came out. It was an open dialogue, and we appreciate the opportunity to participate in that as we begin the search, and we hope to be able to continue a transparent process, a participative process with all groups, and look forward to where we go on our journey for this. And finally, a quick update on the pilot program for the Advanced Weapons Detection System. As you know, one of those pilots is going on at Maryville High School, and of which I'm the proud principal. And so a little update on that on behalf of Principal Gutierrez and myself. Week 2 is finishing up right now, and the team effort that has taken place as we implement this has been amazing. Not just local, but district support, the safety division, people out there contributing together to make adjustments and remain flexible as we learned the steps of what we do. It's been an amazingly smooth process. I was pleasantly surprised, like day one of just practice, kids were turning the corner of the entryway at Maryville, and they already had their computers out, like what have you done this before? I don't know. It's been a very smooth opening. It's a simple process and less intrusive than what's been going on at our at Bostrom for their pilot. And we've heard and have a feeling of support with students, with parents, with staff as to having it there. We look forward to a post-survey to quantify that more, but the anecdotal piece has been encouraging. And I think one of the biggest things I can maybe communicate with you early on is that there doesn't appear to be any delay in getting kids into the gate and to school to where there's a tardy issue. The flow on these things is amazingly fast, and the kids have been amazing to have their IDs and their computers ready to go. A quick handoff, they walk through. If the device does go off, it's a quick check-in at a table, and they're on their way. So we're happy with the start. We look forward to the rest of the pilot, and we hope to be able to bring you good information so that you can make a decision in the near future. And that concludes our report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Last but not least, Ms. Taylor.
There we go. Okay. President Ross, members of the board, Superintendent Andrade, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. The Phoenix Union Foundation for Education has several things in the works. It's scholarship application time. The application opened on October 19th and will close on January 19th. Last year, we awarded over $105,000 to 60 plus scholarships to students who are now attending colleges, universities, and accredited trade schools. And we want to ensure that all seniors are taking the opportunity to apply for these scholarships. And we also know that it takes a village to make that happen. So there are ways that you can all help us in this important process. One is to please encourage every PXU senior to complete the application. Another way that you can help is to apply to be a scholarship reader. And the next slide shows the notification that was sent out with a link to sign up to be a scholarship reader. We're asking that that anyone who wants to be a reader choose 10 or 20 applications. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes to review and score each one of them. Readers in the past often tell us what a rewarding experience it is to do this. So I hope you'll consider doing it. We could really use the help in that. The mini grant awardees for the spring semester 2024 are posted on our website, and those winners are on the next slide with their names. On the website, it shows a description of their projects and how many students will be impacted with these projects. And the next time I'm here, I'll be able to show some pictures of these winners and what they're doing in their classrooms. We typically have 32 to 36 applications to review for the mini grants, and we'd really like to encourage even more educators to apply for this opportunity. The next application for the mini grants opens on January 8th, 2024. Lastly, for tonight, I'd like to show you a preview of our Save the Date for our gala dinner event. This is going to be a great way to celebrate the extra day of the year that we get in 2024 on February 29th. It's going to be held at the Corona Ranch and Rodeo Grounds in Levine. Our theme this year is Cowboy Boots and PXU Roots, round up for the best high school district in Arizona. So get your best Western attire laid out and come ready to bid on some really great silent auction items. Watch PXU students' performances, including a robotics demonstration. and enjoy a fabulous meal served by PXU culinary students. This is also where we're going to be recognizing the winners of our community awards, including Counselor of the Year, Friend of Phoenix Union, and Alumnus of the Year. Those nominations have also been sent out, and we want to get those completed no later than December 22nd. Any questions? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is 4A, call to the public. Presentations tonight are limited to a maximum of 2 minutes according to ARS 38-431.01. At the conclusion of the call of the public, members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who address the public body, may ask, now my turn to cough, may ask the staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members may not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. I would like to caution members of the audience about commenting on a particular individual and to thank you for not referring to any person by name. Tonight, we have the option for members of the public to participate in public or virtually. We will start with our speakers who registered online. In order to avoid any concerns with interpretation services, please be aware of the following. We have a Spanish interpreter available to join you at the podium while you address the governing board. Only the PXU assigned interpreter will provide interpretation services. If you have a script on paper or on a device, we ask that you make it available to the interpreter. In order to provide accurate interpreting, we ask that you speak for approximately 2 to 3 sentences at a time and pause for the interpreter. You will be given double the amount of time to address the governing board as a result. As usual, we ask that you end your comments when your official time allotment has ended. Member Parra, will you please say all of that in Spanish for me?
Sure, Madam Chair. Para evitar dificultades con los servicios de intérprete, tenga en cuenta lo siguiente, por favor. Tenemos un intérprete de español disponible para acompañarlo mientras se dirige a la mesa directiva. Joel se encuentra atrás. Solo el intérprete asignado por el distrito proveerá servicios de interpretación. Si tiene su mensaje en papel o electrónicamente, le pedimos que lo ponga a disposición del intérprete. Para brindar una interpretación precisa, le pedimos que hable aproximadamente de 2 a 3 oraciones a la vez y haga una pausa para el intérprete. Como resultado, se le dará el doble de tiempo para dirigirse a la mesa directiva. Como de costumbre, le pedimos que finalice sus comentarios cuando termine su tiempo asignado. Gracias por su cooperación.
Thank you. Tonight, we do not have any requests to speak virtually, so I am going to pass the mic to Clerk Napa.
Please state your name, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes. First up is Derek Tomich, followed by Venenzia Figueroa.
Good evening. My name is Derek Tomich, and I am a student at Bioscience. My generation has grown up in a world where gun violence is all too common. In 2023 alone, there have been at least 58 school shootings in 49 K-12 schools, and the rest on college campuses. We need to do everything we can to stop future gun violence from happening in our schools. One way to do that is to make sure it is easier for students to report incidents where they may not feel safe. We know that in 4 out of 5 school shootings, someone knew about the shooter's plan beforehand. If those people had been able to anonymously report what they knew, many of these tragedies could have been avoided. I urge the Phoenix Union High School District to take the steps to make our schools safer for all students. By making it easier for students to anonymously report incidents of concern, we can help to prevent future school shootings and tragedies. Thank you for your time.
Venencia Figueroa, followed by Abigail Tomich.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Venecia Figueroa, and I graduated from Bioscience High School as of May, as of last school year. The district has a threat assessment program, but it is not as effective as it could be. There are a number of things that Phoenix Union could do to improve its threat assessment program, including making it more widely known that students can fill out incident reports. There we go. Offering students the option to fill out incident reports anonymously, and teaching students how to create detailed incident reports that are useful to staff. Staff can also do a better job educating parents and students on the safe storage pledge that exists in our student handbook. None of us knew it exists. Please require and ensure parents have signed it. And if it is approved, please ensure that teachers are aware of the anonymous reporting option and that they communicate this to their students. The student handbook should also include information that tells students what types of situations should be reported. Some students may need help recognizing possible violence, so it is important to define this term clearly in the handbook. By introducing an anonymous reporting system, students will be able to report any incidents of concern without fear of retaliation. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Abby Tomich, and I graduated from Bioscience in May. We are now aware of the tip line the district has established, but we weren't aware of it until just recently. I believe this information is not widely distributed. Many students do not know about that tip line. We are offering to join forces with district staff to create a robust student-led campaign for these efforts. As interns from Councilwoman Pastor's office, we have worked with students across the Phoenix Union, and we would love to present the board with a petition signed by students, we'll do that later, who are in support of our efforts by asking you to establish a process to report on our campuses and continuing the conversation of school safety with all students. The overlying issue of violence needs to be addressed at the state or national level, but we have the power to report issues from the ground floor. We walk past our peers every day, and we know we have the feeling when something is wrong. We should have an easy way to report it and address it. Please support us to work with district staff to memorialize a process for safe reporting process that will later be implemented in the student handbook this spring. Thank you for your time.
Jocelyn Duenas, followed by Adriana Aldaco.
Madam Chair, can we ask the superintendent to look into those last three comments on the reporting recommendations?
Noted.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jocelyn Duenas, and I am a student at Metro Tech High School. I think it's safe to say that most of us know someone who owns a gun. I have seen screenshots of posts of students holding a gun or showing one off on their social media profiles. How would one go about reporting that without it being traced back to you? What happens after you see that and are too scared to report it out of the fear of being called a snitch or being judged by your peers? We should have multiple ways to report possible violence anonymously. This could include an online reporting system, a hotline, or a designated drop-off box. We should know how to access these things. It should be laid out in our school handbook and promoted whenever possible. As a democracy, we should also be aware of the steps that the school will take to investigate and respond to reports of possible violence. This will help students to understand what to expect after they make a report. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Ariana Aldaco, and I am a senior from Metro Tech High School. I stand before you today to address a crucial initiative that aligns with the commitment to our safety and responsibility as a community within Phoenix Union. The implementation of a streamlined process for Reporting Gun Violence aims to empower our community and students to report any potential risk relative to firearm threats among the campuses in a confidential, safe, and efficient way. By establishing a clear and accessible reporting mechanism stated in the student handbook, we will be able to prioritize the safety of the students but also empower them to speak out without fear of any repercussions, thereby contributing to a safer and more secure environment. The proposals includes clear guidelines for reporting, assurance with confidentiality, and a structure to report and investigate any concerns. This will also reinforce the commitment to protect the students so we don't have to fear if it will ever happen to us on our campus. We do not have to worry about speaking out with the fear that our lives are on the line. We will feel secure in speaking out and are prepared if the protocols are ever needed. On behalf of many students, I urge the board to consider and support the implementation of a vital reporting process, helping our safety, security, and well-being. Thank you for your time.
Deyume Darden, followed by Brenda Munoz Muguria. Deyume? All right, moving on. Brenda Munoz Muguira.
Hi, good evening. My name is Brenda Munoz Murguia, the communications specialist for Councilman Laura Pastor's office. This year, our office has been working with Phoenix Union volunteer interns asked to tackle a topic they're passionate about within their schools. That topic is safety, and their intent is to further empower student voice and action on their campus. Although only a handful of students spoke today, I have worked with most of the schools in the Phoenix District 4 area, and Phoenix Stugo students, and many students want to be part of the safety solution. Our students have grown up in a generation where incidents of gunfire in this country are seen as nothing unusual. As a matter of fact, about 3 million students are exposed to shootings every year. This sets a precedent. Children exposed to this kind of violence are more likely to have difficulties in school, abuse drugs and alcohol, and struggle with mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Phoenix Union High School District is one of the largest secondary school districts in the country, and this is a great opportunity for you to lead the way for other districts. Tonight, we're asking you, the governing board, to be aware of the need to implement a more robust, anonymous reporting process for students. We ask district leadership to work with the willing students this spring to memorialize a process for safe reporting that will be recommended to you for inclusion in the student handbook this spring. I'd like to thank you for hearing these students' voices and for supporting student action. And a special thank you to Superintendent Andrade, who has been very supportive of the students and of the initiative.
Zach Zeipser. Zach Zeipser, followed by Lance Long.
Good evening, Board President Ross, members of the board, Superintendent Andrade, and members of the community. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Zach Zipser, and I come before you wearing many different hats, representing many different people. I live, pay taxes, and vote in this district. At Linda Abreu Educational Academy, I am a teacher, the CTA core representative, an instructional leader, and the leader of our campus safety team. Therefore, I am here on behalf of all stakeholders, but especially our most precious and valuable stakeholders, our students. This year, Linda Abreu experienced 2 separate instances where a firearm was brought onto our campus by our student, which threatened the safety and well-being of all stakeholders. Statistically, and from my understanding, this means Linda Abreu has the highest rate in the whole district of firearms being brought on campus, even higher than comprehensive campuses. On September 5th, a firearm was actually found in and confiscated from my classroom. Yesterday, a historic meeting took place at Linda Abril, and I would like to publicly thank Superintendent Andrade, Mr. Claudio Coria, Mr. Manuel Silvis, Dr. Jeff Pierce, and Mr. Kevin Scroggins for responding to, prioritizing, and honoring our request to improve the safety of our campus in such a timely manner. As a result of their swift actions, we feel safer with these added layers of protection. However, more needs to be done, and we are now looking to you, Governing Board, for further action. We collectively and unanimously want to be included in the district's pilot program utilizing metal detectors. We understand that Bostrom and Maryville are piloting metal detectors, and it only makes sense to be included in this pilot. Adding a third school to your pilot program would allow you to gather more data on the effectiveness of metal detectors and would allow you to triangulate the data, which is better for data analysis. We hope you take our request to improve the safety of all stakeholders at Linda Brill seriously and that you take immediate action to include us in your pilot program. Superintendent Andrade and her team made history yesterday, and we hope you choose to do the same for Linda Abril, the district, and our posterity. Thank you.
Lance Long, followed by William Highsmith.
My name is Lance Long. I am a teacher in the district. Tonight I will not be talking about safety, but don't be heartbroken. I'll be back next month. There are concerns in the district about the new salary proposal. Although it was approved, there was a very large dissenting vote. About 25% voted against it. This is the highest negative vote I can remember in the 20 years that I've been in the district. Now, I understand that there are budget constraints, so I, along with many others, held my nose and voted to approve it. But a question arises. Since we are being asked to put up with drastic increases in the cost of health insurance, are the elite who sit in the ivory tower going to be taking the same hit as we peasants who work in the fields? The perception, whether true or not, is that they get all their benefits, including health insurance, 100% paid for by the district. I and 4,500 others want to know if they are biting the same bullet that we are biting. In his book, Leaders Eat Last, Simon Sinek points out that leaders prioritize the needs of their subordinates over their own needs. Until we know that our leaders are participating in the same belt-tightening that we are, resentment that already exists in the district will continue to grow. You control their contracts. Are you asking them to bear the same share of the burden that we are? Are they willing to share that burden? I would ask that Superintendent Andrade and President Ross respond, perhaps by email, to the entire district, clarifying the situation, whether or not our leaders are true leaders. Thank you.
William Highsmith, followed by Freddie Malara.
Good evening. My name is William Highsmith. I'm a teacher at Alhambra. I've been with the district 17 years. I'm going to read some numbers to you tonight, and this is just a quick web search. Some of it is from district websites, some of it is from the census websites, but they're very close from what I was able to find, so their accuracy, I think, is fairly valid. And they deal with other school districts. In Tolleson, English households are 60%, 82% in Aguafia, 75% in Chandler, 70% in Tempe, 75% in Mesa, 45% in Phoenix Union. People that are eligible to receive free lunch in these districts, the free lunch is a good marker for poverty levels. This is not exactly 100%, but it's a good marker to see where the population is. Agua Fria is 40%, Chandler is 12%, Tempe is 40%, Mesa is 59%, and Phoenix Union is 91%. The Hispanic populations in these districts, Agua Fria 40, Chandler 29, Tempe 20, Mesa 46, Phoenix Union 81. What do these districts have besides their population, their income, and their language that is different than us? They either have SROs, weapons detection systems, and vape sensors, or a combination of all three. All of our surrounding districts. We are losing students, we're losing teachers. At what point is this a retention issue? Is it the fact that our students are mostly Hispanic and poor that we are unwilling to invest in their safety as our sister districts? Thank you.
Freddie Malara.
Hopefully this one. Okay, there you go. Good evening, board, superintendent, President Ross. I just want to take the opportunity to give people their flowers. This past month, we hosted the Phoenix Union Academic Decathlon scrimmage at Maryville High School. And I was very happy to see many familiar faces. And I just want to say thank you, that I appreciate it, that the students appreciate it. And I was just very happy to see our board members there, right? That made me feel great, supported, and I hope to have your support for future years and see more and more faces. I know my students were they kind of didn't know who you were, but then when they did know, they're like, wow, I didn't know it was them, but now they know. So again, thank you, I appreciate it, and also it smells really bad in here.
I'm going to call the student one more time. Okay. Damor Yuma, Dayumai Darden, one last call. Central High School student, Dayumai Darden.
We'll try to move quickly. The next item is 5A, approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Member Oliver, seconded by Clerk Napa. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item is 6A, Superintendent Report. Ms. Andrade, please provide your report for us at this time.
All right. Good evening, President Ross, members of the board, and community. I want to jump in today and just remind everyone that our students are the reason we're here and the foundation of the work we do as a district. And every single day, our students accomplish amazing things, make their mark in their community, and are headed to making history. So today, I wanted to pause and showcase 3 students from Alhambra High School who bring positivity to their campus and represent our district core values. I'm going to start with Stamili, a senior who is involved in multiple clubs at Alhambra and is very strong academically, especially in math. She is very driven and always seeks out opportunities to make the world a better place. She has a passion for technology and plans to study computer science after graduation. The next student, Uwa Tanza, affectionately known as Nana, is a senior who came to Phoenix Union from the Alhambra Elementary School District. And she is so passionate about being a student at Alhambra that she happily volunteers her free time to speak to 8th graders in her previous district about all that Alhambra has to offer. She plans to attend college and become a nurse after high school. And last, Maurice is a junior in the ELD program at Alhambra who balances a full academic schedule with a packed athletic schedule. He plays soccer, cross country, tennis, and track. On top of his academics and athletics, he is also an ambassador of the work opportunities offered to students at PXU. He's one of the first students on campus every day. He works in the cafeteria each morning. His goal is to study engineering at the university and work in the construction industry. We have so many incredible stories just like this across our district that serve to remind us of why we are here, and we are very proud of these 3 students. I want to commend them for their efforts and their contributions. Our Metro Tech students, thank you. Our Metro Tech students had some incredible opportunities through our Elevate Ed partnership. They participated in a job shadowing day at the Ocotillo Power Plant. Female students interested in STEM had a chance to visit APS and be a part of a panel where they were actually part of it and got to sit side by side with other female engineers and staff. And then followed by an Arizona Construction Career Fair Day that was just filled with activities and fun. I just want to recognize all the staff that helped make this happen, as well as our incredible partnership with Elevate Ed. On November 3rd, 76 students from across PXU represented us at the Future Leaders Town Hall, sponsored by the City of Phoenix. This day focused on equity, examining data through the lens of equity. Students participated in actively defining what equity means to them and how to improve their communities using an equitable approach. They collaborated on next steps and actions and made individual commitments to action. I enjoyed reading through every single one of them and really was interested to see what they want in our schools, opportunities for improvement and advocacy. They're amazing. Thank you to Student and Family Services Division, and a special thanks to Cindy Tercero for helping make that happen. On November 4th, you heard tonight, PXU hosted our 2023 Expo. I believe it was packed with over 715 students and families. Well, that was just students, so probably more with families, learning about our portfolio and doing a little school shopping. I want to thank our campuses for their participation, their spirit, their energy, and coordination. And a special thanks to Dan Eaton and our performing arts teachers for supporting all the amazing student performances. I had a chance to talk with CTE students, I think Cece from Central Culinary, and she's got big ideas for Expo 2024. She wants to have food trucks and do a little challenge with Central Culinary versus Metro Culinary. Anyway, let's make it happen. I'm looking forward to that. On November 7th, CFOs from across the nation had an opportunity to experience our amazing Maryville Classical Guitar Ensemble during their lunch. I received several compliments from members of the Council of Great City Schools, other CFOs, and superintendents. What an incredible, professional, and absolutely beautiful performance. A special thanks to Ruben Macias, our Maryville guitar teacher. Our first graduating class for ASU's We Grad was celebrated on November 7th. There you see about 258 Metro Tech parents holding up their certificates of completion. We Grad believes that we graduate together when it comes to building a collaborative community between schools, parents, and students. Parents complete self-paced mini modules focused on supporting their children through high school as well as preparing them for success post-secondary. Congrats to Metro Tech for leading the way. On Tuesday, November 21st, our community liaison members of our SFS team, Carl Hayden, and the Chase Building team all helped distribute meal boxes and turkeys to our families in need. I want to thank all those who came out and contributed to this effort or dropped off a turkey. Thank you. Things certainly got competitive at the CEE building with tech and logistics. And I just want to go ahead and thank anyone that helped distribute on that day. It was very much needed. On November 15th, we celebrated National ESP Day. Both district and campus went the extra mile to show our ESPs how much we value their contributions. We hope our job families enjoyed the celebration and know how much they are valued here in Phoenix Union. Approximately 100 employees gathered to celebrate those who reached a 5-year milestone at the Employee Milestone Celebration. A special shout out to Ventura Garcia and Sharon McMichael for reaching 35 years of service. I want to congratulate all those who reached a milestone and thank you for your commitment to our students and families. A special thanks to Metro Culinary for catering and serving our guests. It's always top-notch food and service. All right, let the competitions begin. As you see, PXU hosted our first academic scrimmage for the 23-24 school year, and congratulations to Cesar Chavez and Maryville for winning first and second place, respectively. Organizing and hosting academic competitions is no easy feat. It requires many volunteers to make it a success. So a huge thank you to anyone who participated and volunteered in the event to help make it happen. We absolutely couldn't do academic without you. I want to go ahead and recognize Wilson College Prep, not only for being a B school, moving closer and closer to A every day, but for making the advanced placement honor roll. To be recognized, a school must promote a college culture with 40% or more of their grads taking at least one AP course, 25% or more earning a score of 3 or higher, and 2% or more of the class must participate in 5 or more AP courses during their high school experience. Wilson was additionally recognized for AP Access Award for their percentage of AP students who are underrepresented compared to their school's demographics. They are number 6 on that list. Congratulations, Wilson. A quick update on our Cognia accreditation process. Recently, Teaching and Learning, in collaboration with many other divisions, uploaded our self-assessment and all the supporting documentation and evidence to the Cognia portal. A huge thank you to the Teaching and Learning team, Laura Tejas, Tony Camp, for coordinating and leading this heavy lift, and we look forward to our formal review in February of 2024. The Student Bill of Rights work continues to move forward. Focus sessions will conclude tomorrow, December 8th. Final drafts will be ready by the close of semester, and next steps include a final product in the new year, a student-led educational campaign in the spring, and formally placed in the Student and Family Handbook. So I look forward to bringing that to you in the new year. December marks the opening of FAFSA application this year anyway. I encourage all of our seniors to complete a FAFSA and look forward to supporting our campus's FAFSA campaigns and events. We know the 2 myths out there associated with college are, can I get in and can I afford it? Completing and submitting a FAFSA can be an intimidating and overwhelming process. This I know personally. I want to commend our schools for partnering with agencies, orgs, post-secondary institutions to really provide the support and resources to get this done. Our counseling teams are simply amazing and play such a huge role in this effort. Taking a moment to thank our voters who have continued to support Phoenix Union Schools. Several districts across the valley did not get the support they needed, and I just want to commend our voters and our community and all those who played a role in our efforts for helping us pass the largest bond in Phoenix Union history. We are so ready and excited to invest directly in our schools and look forward to bringing you updates on our plans and progress. Later tonight, our board will be voting on salary packages and benefits for the 24-25 school year. I want to again recognize our interest-based negotiation team for getting started early on this process and for completing ratification as we head into the new year. This demonstrates our ability to come together even when things aren't easy, collaborate, compromise, and put the district first. Thank you for all those that participated and continue to meet into the spring. On November 24th, we recognize Native American Heritage Day. And then on December 2nd, National Special Education Day. And the slide's not up yet, but I'm really proud to share the next slide, which is this true collaboration of these 2 days coming together at Camelback High School. So Mrs. Smith teaches Native American Perspective English course at Camelback. The class celebrated Native American Heritage Month by visiting Mrs. Martinez and Miss Newman's classrooms. Students from the Native American Perspective English read stories authored by indigenous authors, that's a little redundant, to our students with special needs. They also spent time coloring indigenous art from coloring pages. And really, as you can see from the smiles on the faces in these pictures, it was a huge success. I want to thank Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Martinez, and Ms. Newman, as well as all the students who participated in that day. All right. I don't have We'll go to the next one. Our winter graduation, it will be on December 20th, where we have slated 2 times, a 4 o'clock and a 6 o'clock, with close to 200 students ready to graduate and close out 2023. This will happen at Central High School. And Friday, December 22nd, everybody knows what that means. That marks the beginning of our winter break. I want to wish everyone a relaxing and safe break. Happy Hanukkah, which begins tomorrow. Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. However you celebrate, please enjoy the recess and be safe. Happy holidays, PXU. This concludes my superintendent report. President Ross.
Thank you. We apologize about the smell. There's a pipe that's broken in one of the restrooms, but the restroom, the women's specifically, is open on the first floor. So I will try to get us out here as fast as possible. And again, we apologize about the smell. Member Oliver, do you have a motion for me?
Yes, Madam President, I would like to make a motion to combine items 8I, 8J, and 8K.
Member Oliver is motioning in the interest of trying to move us out of here as quickly as possible that we can combine those items. Is there a second?
Also include 9A in that, please?
Yes.
Need to-
Will you amend your motion, Member Oliver?
Yes,
To include.
I'll amend it to include 9A.
And Member Hernandez, do you accept the amendment? Okay. The motion has been made to combine 8I, 8J, 8K, and 9A, seconded by Member Hernandez. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. So now let's actually vote on the actual, that was to combine it. So now we're gonna, yes, ma'am, discussion. Go ahead. Oh, Mr. Marquez? Do we still have Mr. Marquez?
Aye.
Hi. You're okay? Okay, I'm just checking in.
Did you
All
catch,
right.
did you catch my yes vote? Aye.
Yes. Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the economic packages, plural, because we combine those, for all of the categories, educational support professionals, certified employees, and administrative employees, and the 4-year medical plan? Is there a motion to adopt all said things?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion is made by Member Oliver, seconded by Member Para. On that motion, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Madam Chair.
All those
aye.
opposed, please indicate by saying nay.
Madam Chair, sorry,
Nope, you're okay.
just one quick comment. There
Yes.
was a question around whether or not this applies to executive team. I just want that to be clear that
That's a
it
good point,
applies
Member
to
Para.
everybody.
It does indeed to respond to Mr. Long's statement. It does apply to everyone across the board, including the exec team. So thank you for pointing that out. All those opposed, please indicate by saying nay. Motion carries. So we just passed it. So good job. Thank you guys for that. That's awesome. The next item is 11B, approval of the recommendation to expel student 202. Lynn's coming to the microphone. I skipped 9B. I skipped one. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. I did skip that. The next item is 9B, revision number 1 of the 2023-2024 previously adopted budget. Ms. Andrade. Thank you, Lynn.
President Ross, members, tonight we bring you the revised budget from the current year 23-24, as well as projections we believe will be in place as we finish the year. Additionally, tonight you'll hear from our CAO, Laura Tejas, on actions we have taken after the release of the letter grades data, including data dives with each school leader, coupled with specific strategies to increase student achievement in the spring of 2024. Each principal will be allocated resources in response to their specific school-level data. We often ask teachers to respond early and often to student intervention, and we as a district should be committed to modeling the same behavior with our budget. To present here tonight, Ms. Sherry Salaya.
Good evening, President Ross, members of the Governing Board, and Superintendent Andrade. On tonight's agenda for your approval is Budget Revision Number 1 for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. December budget revisions are required by Arizona Revised Statutes 15905E when the adopted general budget exceeds the actual calculated general budget limit by 1% or more. Because of current year funding, we adopt the budget using estimated average daily membership, ADM, and then revise accordingly, either up or down, later in the year as we receive actual ADM numbers. Governing board members are aware that both PXU's enrollment and ADM are in fact declining. This slide reflects week 15 enrollment at 26,566 students. The reported enrollment is 1,322 students lower than enrollment for week 15 of last year. Board members are also aware that we proactively reduced the current year's adopted budget by $8.6 million. This reduction reflects the total projected decline in ADM of 1,218 students. As a best practice, the revised budget will reflect changes based upon actual numbers at the time of the revision. The mid-year budget revision includes the actual year-to-date decline in ADM of 888 students. We anticipate a second budget revision in May, as it is likely that enrollment will continue to decline. In preparation for this, we have placed the budget capacity associated with the difference of total projected loss of ADM and current actual loss in an ADM contingency line. If final projections prove accurate, the reduction of budget capacity in the May revision will be taken from this line. The administration's goal, however, is to stabilize enrollment, eliminate decline, and return to growth. Previously, we shared our initial strategies to assist with this, such as targeted marketing, rollout of the engagement center, investments in safety, and investments in campus and climate culture. This slide is just a reminder of the action that was taken to reduce the budget based upon the total projected decline in ADM. And I am missing a slide. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I got ahead. The budget revision also includes an increase to the budget balance carry forward by just over $20 million. The increase is primarily the result of unused budget capacity related to unfilled vacant positions and moving qualifying expenditures from maintenance and operations into the ESSER grant. It's important to note that building additional reserves from one-time funds, such as budget balance carry forward, allows time and flexibility to develop the best strategies for any future changes that may be needed. Finally, you will also see smaller adjustments to other funds that allow budget balance carry forward, such as district additional assistance, classroom site fund, and grants. And now, Laura Tejas will share examples of budget that is directly connected to increasing student achievement.
Well, good evening, President Ross, members of the board, Superintendent Andrade, and Phoenix Union community. Thank you to Ms. Celaya for sharing the revisions of the previously adopted budget. And now that you've heard a little bit about those revisions, I am pleased to share with the board and our community how our teaching and learning leaders are working with our campus leaders and their teams to unpack their campus student achievement data and plan for spring and summer work. Each campus team works to understand where students need the most support, or as we call them, leverage points. Next slide, please. Let's take a look at what the site leaders are doing. As you recall, during our October Governing Board retreat, we discussed student achievement and the myriad of ways that Phoenix Union looks at student achievement. Last month, we had the opportunity to celebrate our students, staff, principals, campus leaders, and teaching and learning division with the reveal of our school letter grades. We are pleased to have more A and B schools than C schools, and no schools receive less than a C grade. As you know, as our students experience success and graduate college, career, and life ready, they and their families will continue to choose Phoenix Union. We still have more work to do, and as I mentioned, we're actively engaged with our campus teams unpacking that data. Let's take a look at some of the opportunities that we have. Next slide. As was mentioned previously, we have the opportunity to identify much needed financial and human resources to support the achievement of the different areas that you see up on the slide. These represent the myriad of opportunities that campuses typically choose from. However, as we engage with conversations with our principals and they come up with creative new ideas, we're looking at how we can support those. Let's talk specifically about each of these areas and some of the celebrations from our campus leaders. So when you talk grad rate, we're talking about who's really struggling right now and needs that added support. We'd like to give a shout out to North and Alhambra, who have developed very thoughtful plans for students in this area. This also is a hallmark for the work around the engagement centers. We're taking a look at students who are no longer enrolled in Phoenix Union and what can we do to bring them back and offer them a slightly different experience. As you heard earlier, college and career readiness is a shining star for Phoenix Union. We know as our campuses are focusing in with our students on earning a C or better in their classes, that those GPAs add up to scholarship dollars for our students. At Bioscience, Metro Tech, and Wilson, they are focused on goals of achieving those college and career benchmarks at or above their previous years. You heard Wilson recognized for their work in AP this evening. FAFSA fiestas are a great way to get our communities excited about filling out that paperwork. Shout out to Bostrom for their workshops and advisory this week. And Maryville, I understand your celebrations are continuing with a FAFSA Wonderland tomorrow. Dual enrollment is an opportunity that satisfies both college and career-ready opportunities, and as a district, we continue to invest in tuition support for teachers who would like to be able to offer this opportunity for our students. ACT proficiency, we offer many supports for our students who are right on the bubble, so with added support on test-taking strategies and content that are offered at multiple opportunities throughout the spring semester, including materials and study guides. We're looking forward to seeing the results of those. Bostrom has embedded this during their advisory periods, and we're excited to see how that works. And finally, we know that we have the opportunity to look at different groups of students a little bit differently. Shout out to Carl Hayden, who is increasing language learning opportunities for their students in the ELL population, both related to academic content as well as language itself. You might remember during our board retreat, we talked about how to, that farm to table, how do we grow our students? Campuses are using programs like NWEA and Edmentum to really look at how to meet students' needs now as well as continue to grow them. We're looking forward to our continued conversations with our campus leadership teams about how to creatively address the needs of our students. And with that said, we'd like to recommend that the board adopt the revised budget as presented.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the revision of the budget? Is there a second? Motion's been made by Member Austin, seconded by Member Oliver. On that motion, those in favor, please
Madam
indicate by
Chair, a quick comment, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick comment. I think we're needing to revise this budget because we have a decline in enrollment. And I just want to remind my colleagues that we have to ensure that our even the perception of our school campuses being safe matters. And I also would love to see in our plan going forward the role that parents and caregivers play in improving academic success across Phoenix Union. I would love to see more strategic investment in our family engagement efforts and our community engagement efforts because we can't increase achievement without parents at the table.
Thank you. On the motion,
Madam Chair, I just have one comment.
I'm sorry, Mr. Marquez, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I just had one comment before the vote as well. I just wanted to thank Superintendent Andrade and Ms. Tejas for putting that presentation together. I was going to ask that the presentation get added to board docs so the public can see the possible changes that the district is making at each of the campuses to increase student achievement in the second semester. But thank you for putting that together.
Thank you. On the motion on the floor to approve the revision of the budget, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please indicate by
Aye.
saying nay. Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is 11B, approval of the recommendation to expel student 202324-02. Is there a motion to accept the recommendation of expulsion for the student identified as 202324-02?
Motion.
Is there a second? Motion's been made by member, my brain stopped, Para, and seconded by member Austin. I'll do a roll call vote really quickly so that we can get out of here. Member Para, how do you vote?
Yes.
Member Hernandez, how do you vote? Member Oliver, how do you vote? Yes. Member Marquez, how do you vote?
Abstain?
Member Austin, how do you vote? And Clerk Napa, how do you vote?
Yes.
I will also vote yes, so the expulsion passes or carries. The next item is 11C, approval of the recommendation to expel student 202324-03. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Motion's been made by member Parr, seconded by member Austin. Roll call again. Member Parr, how do you vote?
Yes.
Member Hernandez? Member Oliver? Yes. Member Marquez?
Abstain?
Member Austin? Clerk Napa?
Yes.
I also vote yes. That also passes. And then the last one is the next item on is 11D, approval of the recommendation for alternative to expulsion placement for student 202324-05. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Motion's been made by member, thank you. A motion's been made by member Oliver, seconded by member Austin. Roll call really quickly. Ms. Parra, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez? Member Oliver? Mr. Marquez?
Aye.
Member Clerk Napa?
Yes.
And I also vote yes, so that is approved. Good job, guys, moving through that really quickly. Thank you. The next item is 11E, approval of proposed calendar for governing board meetings for 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Motion's made by member Parr, seconded by member Oliver. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. The next item is 11F, update and discussion of the superintendent search process with potential action. Mr. Lopez, will you provide us an update, please?
Thank you, President Ross. Good evening, President Ross, Superintendent Andrade, governing board members, executive team, our students, staff, parents, and community that are joining us. Thank you for this opportunity. I will give you a quick update. We do have virtually tonight joining us Dr. Christine McDuffie and Dr. John Bash, who will provide you a more detailed update on the work we're doing right now regarding phase one. One of the most important things coming up is the launching of the stakeholder survey. So that'll be taking place, part of it tonight, and then tomorrow morning we will launch the full survey for our students, our community, and for our staff. We did have some very robust focus sessions with a number of our employee groups, as well as two forums that took place, one at Maryville and one at Metro Tech. As President Anastasia Jimenez stated, the final forum will be taking place on Monday, the 11th, at the academies at South Mountain. We look forward to great participation with that particular forum. We are increasing our efforts in getting more of our student focus groups as requested previously. And I want to thank Ms. Cardenas and other members who are reaching out and coordinating our focus sessions with our Native American students, also making sure that we have a strong focus with our Native American parents, our Black students and Black parents, and other groups that are being looked at by our Student Family Services, our ELs, and so we really believe that the 11th and 12th will be a strong focus with student engagement and parent engagement. We are right now really launching through Mr. Franco's marketing division a strong social media and marketing campaign. These are numbers and words that I'm using from Mr. Franco. He said Facebook is very active, 62,174 impressions so far, which is a really big number. Richard, you can explain the impressions later to me, and 470 clicks. So that really is great to see. We have community group pages that are active, Instagram, Twitter, Nextdoor, and a number of other strategies. Our PXU.org superintendent search site has resulted in 6,000 views since the launch date. So a lot of activity. Those are the things that we want to see to make sure we reach out wide and make sure that we have as much participation as we can put together in a short period of time. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Dr. Christine McDuffie and Dr. John Bash, who will give more details regarding the work that they have worked on so far, and looking forward to next week for more focus sessions and the last forum.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to present a brief update. We're sorry to hear about your facility challenges this evening, so we will make our remarks a little more brief than we may have planned. Our third member of our team, Dr. Carmela Franco, couldn't be with us tonight, but she sends her regards. We had a fabulous 2 days in your district on Monday and Tuesday, and as Juve mentioned, we have been engaging with multiple stakeholder groups, and we wanted to just give you a brief update on that. But before we get there, we wanted to also share the advertising has been out for several weeks and is reaching a very broad audience. It's actually posted on 17 different sites. And a few examples, of course, are the Association of School Administrators, the Arizona School Board Association, Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents, National Alliance of Black School Educators, et cetera. So 17 different sites, including, of course, our HYA site that has become the clearinghouse across our country for superintendent openings. As of this morning, there have been 587 hits on this particular posting. So we know that it's getting a lot of attraction and play, and we're hearing from some great candidates that John will talk about in just a moment. So we'll turn it over to John for a quick recruiting update.
Thank you. So with recruiting, in addition to the advertising, we are doing proactive outreach, and we have touched base either via email, phone call, or video meeting with 20 prospective candidates so far. And that number will only grow as we continue. These are prospective candidates. These are not candidates who have formally applied, as the process itself is still in the engagement phase. So most candidates are going to wait to submit an application until they see the leadership profile report that will come from the engagement work. Of the 20 prospective candidates we've talked to, about half are leaders in Arizona. The other half are serving in other states, primarily in the Western U.S. I think I'll cap it there, and we'll move on to engagement.
Yes, providing you maybe a little more detail about the engagement work that we have been undertaking for the last couple weeks, actually. And we have been conducting, of course, the one-on-one listening sessions, the smaller focus group sessions, and of course, the community forums that Juve had mentioned. We've touched just 200 and some individuals at this point, making this a very robust engagement process with Phoenix Union. So we're really proud of the progress that we've made. The 2 forums we've held so far, a combination between those that joined us virtually and those that were present, included about 102 individuals. So we really appreciated that. And as was mentioned, we have one more open forum for staff, families, students, anyone to attend, and that will be coming up on Monday. A little bit about the survey, John?
Thank you. Yes, the stakeholder survey that the board elected does include a custom question that our 3 board liaisons provided. That question reads, I believe the Phoenix Union School District should focus on student achievement and outcomes over all other initiatives. And the response to that's on a Likert scale of strongly disagree up to strongly agree. And so we've added that. The district liaisons that we're working with, who, by the way, have been absolutely fantastic, very responsive and supportive, and collaborative with us, are working on the communication plan for internal and external stakeholders, including the governing board. And so starting tonight, actually, and into the next couple of days, we will get that launched and get it pushed out. The survey will close on January 5th, and a formal summary of the survey will accompany the leadership profile report that we present to the board in January, and that will be a public document that'll appear on the search webpage that the district's already created. And I think Chris captured well our next steps here with the groups, the student groups. Huve mentioned the student groups that we'll be meeting with early next week. We're also reaching out to your feeder district leaders and higher ed leadership in the community for individual listening sessions as part of this next step with the engagement effort.
Thanks, John. Our final item has to do with the search timeline, and we truly appreciate the thoughtful conversation with the governing board about the timeline and your commitment to ensure that we have a very thorough engagement process and giving people ample opportunities. So as you recall, you took action to push the calendar out by about a month. And so I believe at your place was a copy of the amended search timeline, and we wanted to make sure everyone was comfortable and clear about that. You had agreed to amend your retreat plan for January 19th, at which time we will be presenting to you the summary of the engagement called the Leadership Profile Report. The application deadline was pushed out a month, and so that now becomes February 12th. We are proposing that we present the candidates to you, and a lot more detail to come, at your February 23rd retreat, and hope that that can work for you. And then we have proposed a special meeting for February 29, which would be the first round interviews with selected candidates. And we are also holding March 4, 5, and 6 for finalists to be in the district. And that can certainly be amended based on the number of finalists that you have. So before you is the revised calendar, and we're happy to take any questions, comments, recommendations on how the process has been working to date. And we thank you so much for your support. You have an amazing school system. We're so impressed. And again, we thank your liaison team who have been fabulous, especially Huve, Espy, Isela, and Richard.
Member Austin.
Yes, I just wanted to point out that the February 29th date for the first round of interviews is the same day as our gala. I don't know if those times together are compatible or if there's going to be a conflict.
We appreciate that. We just learned that late this afternoon. And if it works for calendars for board members, let's say that you have 6 initial round interview candidates. And if we could start in the morning, that's really easily doable. But again, we understand if there's a major community event. It looks like one I would like to attend, by the way.
Member Zadian, thank you. Member Austin. Okay, members. Any other? Oh, okay. Okay, so can we have it tentative? It seems like we'll just have it tentative as we get closer because we don't know how many candidates we have, and if we start early in the morning, we will still be able to get out and go get dressed for the gala. So thank you for the update, HYA members. We're good? All right, moving on. The next item is 11G, approval of revised governing board policies on first reading. BCB, board member conflict of interest. BDA, board organizational meeting. BE, school board meetings. BEDA, notification of board meetings. BEDB, agenda. Is there a motion to approve the revised governing board policies on first reading?
Motion.
Is there a second? A motion has been made by Member Para and seconded by Member Oliver. On that motion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please indicate by saying nay. Motion carries. The next item is 11H, adoption of new governing board policy on second reading, KEE, public concerns, complaints about contracted safety services and law enforcement. Is there a motion to adopt the new governing board policy? Is there a second? Motion has been made by Member Oliver and seconded by Member Austin. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, please indicate by saying nay. Motion carries. The next item is 11I, adoption of revised governing board policy by waiving the second reading. KCD, public gifts and donations. Ms. Andrade.
Yes, President Ross, members of the board, in an effort to allow our school principals to accept smaller donations and gifts in a more timely manner and not having it be held up for months and months, we are asking to update the policy that has remained at $300. Everything $300 or above goes to the governing board for approval. We're going to go ahead and recommend that align with the state law, which is anything 1,000 or higher goes to the governing board for approval. We recommend this policy be adopted on first read, waiving the second reading. Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Motion's been made by Member Parr, seconded by Member Oliver. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please indicate by saying nay. Motion carries. I'm going to back us up really quickly before we do the very closeout. I just want to make sure, board, that all of those dates were good. I need it on record that everyone agrees that the dates proposed by HYA, all those new proposed dates are good with a question mark by the 29th. Correct? Perfect. All right. And then next item is 12A, next meeting. The next regular meeting and the annual organizational meeting of the governing board are scheduled for Thursday, January 11th at 6 p.m. The next item is 12B, request for future agenda items.
Madam President.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see if the district could give us what would be required to make Linda Brill a third pilot school for the metal detection system.
Any other items, members, for future agenda? I would like, please, Superintendent Andrade, just to report back on how we can, I know we kind of briefed on it a little bit, but how we can have a report system for our students that's anonymous and they can feel safe reporting safety issues on their campuses, as well as, it was another one, there was two. It was safety and, and then the other, in that same vein, figuring out ways, a report on how students can lead us as a district in educating their peers about why we should not have weapons on campus. Yes.
I would like an update on the request for Asian and Pacific Islander perspectives courses. Would love to have that before spring break. It doesn't need to be an agenda item. I would just like an update on the process.
Thank you. Is that all? Okay, awesome. Next meeting, item 12A, the regular, next regular meeting and the end. Oh, I did that one. Request for future. We did that one too. Yay, we are done. Is there a motion? Thank you. Is there a second? Motion's been made by Mayor Parr, seconded by Clerk Napa. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. We are adjourned.